know what country you represent, throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. Family, I'm going straight in on this one. The California Court of Appeal is scheduled to hear oral arguments in Tory Lanez's appeal of his convictions and 10-year prison sentence for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. The court will hear the case. The hearing is set for Monday, August 18, 2025 at 9 a.m. in Los Angeles. Tory's legal team is expected to argue that errors made during his trial that warrant a reversal or reduction of his sentence. So his legal team is going to argue were made during his trial that warrant a reversal or reduction of his sentence. Tory was convicted in December of 2022 of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. He was subsequently sentenced to 10 years in prison in August 2023. He is currently serving his sentence at the California Correctional Institution in, it looks like Technocopy or something like that, a Teocopy, that's what it is. His appeals have focused on several points, including erroneous admission of evidence. Tory's lawyers argue that certain evidence, like testimony about Megan's feelings and an Instagram comment from his account, should not have been allowed in the trial. Prosecutorial misconduct. They claim prosecutors made improper appeals to emotion and empathy or sympathy to Megan during closing arguments. I didn't know you couldn't do that. Oh, they said improper. Improper, that's the key word. That's the operative word. Improper appeals to emotion and sympathy. New evidence. Tory's legal team claims that they have cited new statements from his driver, who claims he saw Tory trying to take the gun from Megan's friend Kelsey Harris before the shooting. So they're claiming that Kelsey shot Megan, not Tory. Previously, Tory's requests for a new trial and for bail pending appeal were denied. All right, fam, y'all know what it is. Y'all think he's gonna get the thumbs up for a new trial? New trial, I think a new trial is on the table. Is a dismissal on the table? Can it case be? No, the case can't, it ain't gonna be dismissed. But he could get a new trial. Well, actually, the conviction could be thrown out. The eviction could be thrown out, and the judge could decide, well, the prosecutor could decide not to retry the case. I don't think that's gonna happen. I do not think that's gonna happen. Somebody got shot, and somebody gonna have to pay for that. There are many people out there who believe that Tory is an innocent man who got railroaded. Somebody in the comments said, free that man. Ain't nobody guilty fighting this hard to be free. You must don't know nothing about the criminal justice system. Nothing about inmates. Nothing about convicted felons. And then there are people who believe that Tory actually is guilty. I'll be transparent, fam. I do believe he's guilty. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's guilty. But there are people who believe that he's totally innocent. They don't believe Megan Thee Stallion at all. They think he's innocent. My thing is, knowing that you are a black man in the United States, why would you pick up a case for somebody else? Why would you take a case? Man, shooting people is a serious crime in the United States. You know, it ain't like she threw some trash on the ground. You're saying she shot Megan Thee Stallion, but you didn't say that during the trial. Come on, fam. I'm just saying I don't believe it, fam. I think he shot her. And some people say, well, Willie, Willie, you just being biased, man, because she from Houston. Let me see. Let me check my bias meter. Am I being biased because Megan Thee Stallion is from Houston? Let me see. Am I being biased because she's from Houston? No. I mean, I like her because she's from Houston. I do like the fact that she is from Houston, but I gotta call a strike and a ball a ball. I'm not gonna try to defend somebody and make myself look like a damn fool. I'm just following the evidence. I'm following the trial. The dude said, here's the thing. If somebody, okay, let's give him the benefit of doubt that he's innocent, right? Just for anybody who's okay with his behavior after the fact, post shooting, anybody who believes that Tory is innocent, don't you dare, if you ever find yourself in the unfortunate position of being accused of shooting somebody, don't you dare get on the internet and make fun of the accusation. Don't you dare go make a song about it and allude to having done that or laughing at that person's pain. Because even if you are innocent, you might find yourself guilty, because when you're dealing with these courts in the United States of America, man, they don't like that arrogance, man. Especially coming from a black person, especially a black man. Oh no, you cannot do that. You can't do that, and you cannot go out on the court steps during the trial and after the trial and persecute the prosecution. We know that the U.S. judicial system is stacked against us. We know that it's all fluff. We know that it's a bunch of smoke screens and mirrors. We know that. And you can address that, but it's a time and a place for everything. And while you're in the middle of a trial for your freedom, that ain't the time for you or anybody on your team to be going out on the court steps of the courthouse in America and persecuting the prosecution, this system that they have. They know that the system is biased. They know the system is jacked all up. Everybody knows it. But it's you can't really say it like when you're in the crosshairs. You got your freedom on the line. You got to humble yourself, man. If you never humble yourself under any other circumstances, when you go into that courtroom and you fighting for your freedom, you got to humble yourself. Even if you're innocent. You go in there with that attitude, acting like, it's that self-entitlement attitude, or you going in there and you're being defiant because you believe you're being railroaded. And you go in there with that defiant attitude, they're going to tax you. Tax. You will be taxed. Now, I know some of y'all don't want to hear that, but this is tough love. This is how it goes. I know the court system. I'm very familiar with the judicial system in America. And I can tell you, again, even if you're innocent, you better humble yourself when you walk in that courtroom, because they'll convict you just because they don't like you. They don't like your attitude. They'll convict you. They don't give a damn about the evidence, none of that. They'll convict you just because they don't like your attitude. They'll convict you if they don't like your lawyer's attitude. The deck is stacked. So you got to demonstrate some decorum when you walk into those courtrooms. You can't just go in there just behaving any kind of way, even if you are innocent. You can't just jump up and say, Your Honor, that motherfucker lying on me. Stop lying on me, old man. You can't do that. You're going to jail. Even if you're innocent. You're going to jail because they're going to be like, oh, yeah, he seems like he's capable of doing something like that. Yeah, he probably did it. Even if you didn't do it. If you're on the internet, if you're going through a trial and you're on the internet laughing and joking, like everything's sweet, like not taking it seriously, you're probably going to jail. You're probably going to jail. This is why when Tory's father stepped out on those court steps, and let me tell you something, fam, I can appreciate his father riding for him. I can appreciate the love. Looks like they have a great relationship. Looks like they have a wonderful relationship. So I can appreciate the relationship. But there's a such thing as decorum when you're dealing with this judicial system. And as much as his father was right to believe what he believed and to say the things that he said and to feel the way he felt, that was not the time or the place to address your grievances with the judicial system. Everybody knows the judicial system is stacked against us. It disproportionately affects black people. We know that they railroad black people all the time. But while you're on trial ain't the time to remind them of their wicked ways. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.